You've been working on yourself for a while now, maybe years. You've read the books, watched the videos, tried the methods. You've become more aware, more conscious of your patterns. You can name the things you do. You understand why you do them. And yet, the same situations still happen. The same feelings still arrive. The same reactions still move through you before you even notice they've started. It's not that nothing has changed. You're different than you were. But the core of it, the thing you actually wanted to shift, is still there. And at some point, quietly, a question forms. What if trying to change is part of what keeps things the same? Pause. Most people assume that wanting to change means you're ready to change, that the desire itself is progress. But wanting to be different and being willing to be different are not the same thing. One is a wish, the other is a kind of death. When you decide you need to change, you're making a judgment. You're saying, this version of me is wrong. This way I am is the problem. If I could just fix this, replace this, improve this, then things would be better. The mind hears that as a threat, not because it's protecting you, but because it's protecting itself. Everything you call you, your habits, your reactions, your way of seeing things, exists because at some point it solved a problem. It kept you safe or made you feel okay, or helped you make sense of something that didn't make sense. It became part of the structure, and now you're trying to dismantle it while still living inside it. The mind doesn't experience that as improvement, it experiences it as danger. So it does what it always does. It resists, not loudly, not obviously, but persistently. Pause. This is why effort often makes things worse. You try harder, you focus more, you increase your vigilance, you monitor yourself, track your progress, measure your discipline, and without realizing it, you've just made the problem the center of your attention. You've turned the thing you want to change into the organizing principle of your life. You're not dissolving the pattern, you're deepening your relationship with it. The person who tries to stop being anxious spends all day scanning for signs of anxiety. The person who wants to be more confident constantly checks whether they're being confident enough. The person who wants to let go thinks about letting go every hour. They believe they're working on the problem, but they're rehearsing it. Long pause. There's another layer to this. When you try to change, you're not just working with the behavior or the feeling itself. You're working with the story you've built around it. That story has weight, it has meaning. It says something about who you are. If you're someone who struggles with anger, that struggle has probably shaped how you see yourself. It's in the way you explain your past. It's in the way you relate to other people. It's in the apologies you've made, the distance you've kept, the caution you've learned. It's not just a problem, it's a thread woven into your identity. And when you try to change it, the mind has to ask, if I'm not this, then what am I? That question doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like disappearing. So the mind finds a way to keep the story alive. It lets you try, it lets you improve, it even lets you succeed, temporarily. But it makes sure the narrative stays intact. You become someone who's working on their anger, someone who's getting better at managing it, someone who's learned so much about themselves. The content shifts, the identity remains. Pause. This is why insight doesn't always lead to change. You can understand exactly why you do something. You can trace it back to childhood, to a specific moment, to a pattern you learned from someone else. You can see it clearly and still do it, because understanding is not the same as letting go. Understanding is something the mind can hold. It can be stored, repeated, refined. It can become part of how you explain yourself. Letting go requires you to stop holding. And the mind doesn't know how to exist without holding something. Pause. Most of the time, when people say they want to change, what they really want is to feel different while staying the same. They want relief without uncertainty, progress without loss, a better version of themselves that still feels like themselves. But change doesn't work that way. Real change doesn't feel like improvement. It feels like something breaking. It feels like not knowing who you are for a while, like losing your reference points, like standing in a room where the furniture has been moved and you keep reaching for things that aren't there anymore. It's disorienting, uncomfortable, uncertain. And the mind will do almost anything to avoid that feeling. So it offers you substitutes. It offers you control. If you can just manage yourself better, structure your life better, execute the plan better, then you won't have to face the discomfort of actually changing. It offers you understanding. If you can just analyze it more, see it more clearly, figure out where it comes from, then you won't have to let it go. It offers you effort. If you can just try harder, push more, be more disciplined, then you won't have to admit that trying itself might be the problem. These aren't solutions, they're delays. Long pause. There's a specific kind of exhaustion that comes from this. It's not the exhaustion of working hard, it's the exhaustion of working hard at something that quietly resists you. You've been trying to change for so long that the trying has become automatic. You don't even question it anymore. It's just what you do. Wake up, notice the pattern, decide to do better, try, fail, or succeed partially. Feel frustrated, recommit, repeat. The cycle is so familiar it feels like progress. But if you look closely, nothing is actually moving. You're running in place, believing that speed is the same as direction. Pause. And here's what makes it even more complicated. Some of the changes you've made are real. You're not the same person you were 5 years ago. You've grown, you've learned, you've softened in some places, strengthened in others. But the thing you've been trying to change, the core pattern, the thing you really wanted to shift, it's still there. Just quieter, just more sophisticated, just better at hiding. It's learned your language, it knows what you're looking for, it knows how to disguise itself as progress. So you mistake movement for transformation, you mistake awareness for freedom, you mistake effort for change. Pause. The difficulty is that you can't force yourself to stop trying. That would just be another strategy, another form of control. The mind is clever enough to turn even surrender into a technique. You can't think your way out of this. You can't try your way out of it either. What's left is something more uncomfortable. You have to see that the mechanism itself is the problem, not the behavior, not the pattern, not the thing you're trying to change. The mechanism that keeps turning everything into a project. The part of you that believes you're only okay if you're improving. The voice that says, not yet, not good enough, keep going. That voice isn't helping you. It's keeping you in the same conversation, over and over, with different words. Long pause. There's a moment that sometimes happens. You're in the middle of trying to change, again, and something stops. Not because you decided to stop, not because you gave up. Just something stops. And in that moment, there's no trying, no judging, no planning. Just the situation as it is. Just you as you are. And it's not better or worse. It's not progress or failure. It just is. Most people panic when that happens. They fill the space immediately. They reach for the familiar discomfort of effort because at least that feels like something. But if you don't, if you let the moment stay, you might notice something. The pattern you've been trying to change doesn't need to be fought. It just needs to be seen, not analyzed, not understood, not controlled, seen. And in that seeing, without effort, without trying, something loosens. Not permanently, not completely, but enough to realize that the trying was never the answer. Pause. You might still try. The habit is deep. But now there's a crack in it. A space where something else can happen. Not because you made it happen, but because you stopped trying to.